Welcome back to another episode of the Experts in Fire podcast. I'm your host, Mike Vennard, and with me today is Randy Mowry. Today's episode is The Power of NFI-Certified Experts in Your Corner. Let's get into it. Hey, Randy, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great today. How are you, sir?
I am well. We have an awesome episode here today, something I've been excited to talk about, and I know you've been a key role in getting this episode put together, man. Pretty pumped to talk about NFI certification today.
Oh, so am I. I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely an episode that we've been wanting to have for some time. And it just couldn't have started out a better day. I mean, it's Michigan. It's a beautiful sunshiny day, cool day. Long sleeve t-shirt for the ride in. Great people to talk to today.
It can't get any better unless I was sitting in the room here and had my direct vent fireplace on. But we'll wait for that.
Yeah, let's wait, please.
We don't want to go that far just yet. So, we're going to start with a little history here from Woodland Direct. And, I hired in back in 2013.
Okay.
Coming out of 20 years of coaching football and college ball and small college stuff and getting into the business world, and then came back to Michigan here and met Andrew for the first time and thought, man, this is a pretty cool place. I grew up with wood stoves. I grew up with, cutting wood and splitting wood. I talk about it in the show all the time, and got rolling as a technical sales rep. Now, my history is what allowed me to be able to talk to people. My base knowledge from youth all the way through adulthood of cutting wood, splitting wood, putting in a wood stove insert in my home, things of that nature, allowed me to talk to people. But I remember Andrew looking at me going, Mike, I want you to become our sales manager. And the first task I want you to do is we need to set ourselves up with expertise. We have to. And it's through NFI certification. So he walked me through the process. Now, my master's degree is in education. So I'm looking at him. I'm a coach with a master's degree in education with business experience. I am going to eat this up, Andrew. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. That's what we did. And we started putting together the program of the how behind NFI certification. And you remember, Randy, you and I were both driving out to testing facilities in different areas to take our tests. And that girl was so funny, man, because you would come out of the room and sit down and it would print off. And every time she would lift it up and look at it and set it down next to you upside down. And you're like, did I pass or not? Right? And then she would stop and kind of hover. She loved it. She loved her job. She was good, too.
I always felt like I was getting a note from the principal.
Yes, exactly. And finally, she would just go, congratulations on passing your test. Yes. It was so fun to walk through. Looking back, it wasn't at the time. It was stressful. But looking back and seeing what we've done up until this point, I just wanted to share some of Andrew's vision and, what he was looking to accomplish to be able to, and this is important, and we stress this all the time, because nowadays you can buy fire appliances a lot of different places. But his thing was, we put fire in people's homes on purpose. And doing that, I want to make sure that everyone is safe. And that's really what we have wrapped everything around, is keeping our customers safe, keeping our manufacturers safe. It's just making sure that we're doing the right thing, not for the dollar. There are plenty of people out there who will sell it to you cheaper. They'll even make cheesy commercials about it. I'll give you the lowest price, but they don't care if anything happens to you or your family or anyone who might be there enjoying it, and we do. So we're always going to come from that angle, and I wanted to make sure I shared that before we got into this because it's important. So what I want to do, and I was so thankful that you brought this up, and I got to give all props to Randy. He was like, man, let's get Hoxie in here. We're going to introduce Alan Hoxie. He is our Woodland Direct trainer. He stepped into the role, man, I don't remember how long ago now.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, and I was a part of that. I remember walking through the paces of all of that and getting us into the position where we had a full-time dedicated trainer in-house. So welcome to the show, Alan. I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the old invite. This is pretty exciting.
And happy that we get to show you off. I know you go to shows with us. You'll be at the IBS show. You'll be different shows. Going around to different booths and picking up training tips and things of that nature. But Alan, why don't you give us kind of, your title, what you do, how you do, those types of things, and we can show you off to the world here.
So, yeah, as Mike said, I am the Woodland Direct trainer, and we discussed about 4 years ago, jumped into the role. We saw a need on excellence. And how do we continue to provide excellence to both, our consumers, pros? How do we make ourselves the best? And so this role started, and with that, it was focus on both product as well as NFI. How do we marry those two together, and how do we create something that is going to be the best in the industry? And so basically what we do, I run all of our salespeople, all of our technical reps, all of our people who are going to be answering the phones through our training program. And it's a tiered system, so I'll start, without going into crazy detail, I'll start with simple products and work people through a training. It's roughly 40 hours of training. Combine that with the core for the core test for the National Fireplace Institute, the NFI. So I'm training people through product as well as through the core program. So if you call in, you are going to be talking to one of those individuals who has learned through roughly 40 hours of training the core industry as well as again simple products. Now when I say simple products, I'm talking stuff that a fireplace grate, some screens, things like that. We're not talking big fireplaces. Our people have to have experience on the phone as well as experience with products before they start talking gas. Because like you said, Mike, if we're going to start putting gas in people's home, fire in people's home, we got to do it the safest way possible, because there's zero space for an error in this industry. From there, once they pass through core, then they start studying gas. We'll start introducing a few more technical products, and they'll go through the gas program. When they finish the gas program, they'll go through some more technical products. So you can understand, when you call in, you're going to talk to our frontline folks who have training. But if you need assistance with a gas product, a big wood-burning fireplace, grills, things like that, they're going to make sure that they do everything they can to solve your problem or solve your issue by getting you to a pro from our company who's going to walk through all of the steps to make sure we have the best solution for you. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, very briefly, our program. Our salespeople are Master Hearth professionals. So a Master Hearth professional is somebody who has passed the core test, the gas test, the wood test, and the pellet test. I want to make sure you guys understand the tests aren't easy. They're pretty difficult college level courses that you can't just step in and just, I'm gonna go take the gas test and pass it my first try.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
They are for real, and rightfully so, because again, we've talked about it a couple times. We're introducing something that could be inherently dangerous. Like I said, we got to be correct every single time, in which case you can't screw this up. So the testing requires you to know what you're talking about to make sure that what we do is safe.
And Alan, I just wanted to touch on real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why we have our phone system the way we have it set up. Meaning, when that first call comes in, I bring this up because I don't want folks to get frustrated with that call and the first person they're talking to. That person that's answering the phone is going through your current training, meaning like the core. So they're getting the basics of non-technical products. They might be able to help you out sizing like a fireplace grate, like you said, in a screen. But as they turn into a technical style of product, gas, wood, pellet, whatever that case may be, that team member of ours is going to transfer that person to a technical sales rep that will be able to finish the entire conversation and project for them. Is that correct?
100% correct. And we did that to make sure you guys, our customers, our people who have questions, are taken care of in the best way possible. Secondly, to then connect you as a pro to a like-minded pro, right? Somebody who has the hours of training required and have worked on a number of different gas or wood or even pellet sales projects, whatever you want to call it.
You have fire-related questions, and we have answers. You can email us your questions at podcast@woodlanddirect.com or give us a call at 586-221-3638. We would love to be able to answer them right here on the Experts in Fire podcast. It's important to stress, especially to our pros who listen to the podcast, don't get stressed, don't get frustrated. Let them know what you're working on, and they're going to let you know who can best take care of you. That way we avoid any and all frustrations of you going into your details of your project, and then you have to do it again. Let's not do that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, going back to Alan, and I didn't mean to cut you off there. You were talking about the training. How many tests are there now before somebody can become like an MHP/TSR?
Yeah, so back when we took the tests, 2014, 2013, there were 3 tests. 3 very specific disciplines: a gas, a wood, and a pellet. When you pass the 3 of those, you receive your Master Hearth Professional certification. 3-4 years ago, I believe it was 2020, maybe 2019, NFI decided that the commonalities amongst the 3 disciplines need to be condensed down to its own separate test. And that's where the core test came from. Yeah, so now if you were to step in and take the test, you aren't going to look at a 300-page gas manual, which is great because you look at that and try to figure out how to answer, 100 questions on that. That's pretty tough.
Yes.
A lot of people had multiple opportunities to pass each test multiple times. Put it to you that way.
Yeah, that's a good point, Alan. I just wanted to interrupt real quick. These, like you mentioned, these are like college grade like classes, and not everybody passed these tests on the first try. You have opportunities to take them, but that just goes to show the technical, the data that's in this, the information that is in this, and the importance of it. That's why we study and stress this stuff.
Right. Yeah, I can't stress enough. They are very difficult tests to take. Now, NFI has done good in that they provide everyone who's about to take a test with a pre-test, just kind of a 10-question pre-test to say, hey, how well do you know some of the basic info that you'll find in both the information as well as obviously the test coming up. And if you don't get 8 out of 10 correct, don't take the test. That's 100% the reason it's there.
That's a great idea.
It's a go, no go.
Oh, absolutely. It has helped a few of our team members on a number of occasions say, oh yeah, I'm not prepared. So yeah, the core test is, to answer your initial question, Randy, like I said, it's a culmination of everything. You're going to see general information concerning combustion, right? Combustion is in gas, it's in wood, it's in pellet. You're going to see venting, which again, common in all 3 of those disciplines. You'll see some general codes. We run through a lot of codes in both gas, wood, and pellet. You'll see a little bit on just terms that you may not know dealing with chimney systems, with fire, with gas, with wood. We talked about 350 page manual with gas. You're looking at now about an 90 page manual for core. And they break it down into 60 question test, 67 question test, and then every other discipline, gas, wood, and pellet, is therefore a smaller amount of material because you already understand and know the core system.
Okay, so now it's a total of 4 exams now.
It's four exams, and us at Woodland Direct, or we at Woodland Direct, we ask that each technical sales rep, fully technical sales rep, has to have passed all 4 exams and have their MHP certification in order to sell products into homes that could be dangerous.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, once one of our technical sales receives our Master Hearth Professional certification, does that end there as far as their education goes with NFI?
It's a good question, Randy. Appreciate it. So NFI has a program where, much like the education system, and Mike, you probably can speak to this, continuing education units, you got to have them. You have to be sharp. You have to know what you're talking about. You can't just pass the test once and then 8 years from now continue to talk about pellet even though you received 3 calls in 8 years, right? You at that point are no longer, I would not consider myself an expert if I have taken, like I said, 3 calls in 8 years. I'm looking everything up at that point, which obviously is fine, but it's not fine if you are a professional and you're trying to work with your consumer and you need assistance from us, and here I am not being up to date on my education. Every 3 years, you're required to take 32 hours of continuing education units. NFI has a number of speakers, a number of different classes, a number of different sessions that they have put together. They've compiled all together, and from, I want to say 2012, maybe 2011.
There's a lot of them in there. There's a bunch for sure.
There's a bunch, yeah, different conventions. And it's interesting as we see the industry start to evolve and how internet sales are becoming, well, you see Amazon. The internet is for real, right? It's not going away. And you're starting to see different classes that discuss marketing, discuss internet sales, discuss things that are not necessarily having to do with only wood, gas, pellet, but just around the industry in terms of business and how to work with those disciplines in a different environment, basically outside of a standard brick and mortar. There's a lot of sources that NFI has put together. I enjoy the CEUs, doing the continuing education units, because it keeps you sharp.
It does, and if I remember correctly, the primary the CFUs you have to do are the tech and the safety ones, if I remember correctly. You have some elective ones that you can do, but the primary 3, right?
Correct, yeah. So you're looking at 16 to keep your Master Hearth Professional. Now, understand National Fireplace Institute has a number of different certifications, but we at Woodland, we are big on the Master Hearth Professional because that is the most important for our business. And that being said, 16 technical hours, 12 elective hours, and 4 safety hours will keep your Master Hearth Professional certification active every 3 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome that we have so many. How many do we have on staff here in the technical sales department? Full, Master Hearth Professionals?
Yeah, I think we counted 33. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's 33.
33. Yeah, I think that's about right. And plus we have leadership members. We have our tech department that are all MHP. So we have quite a few on staff here.
One of the things I want to point out here is we have a program called a Firebrand program that's for our vendors, and when they join that program, they get opportunity to come in and not just train our trainer, which is Alan, right? They also get opportunity to sit with all of our technical sales reps, to sit with our technical reps who are going to do all the troubleshooting. It becomes a valuable program, but more important is that hands-on aspect. And I know, Alan, you've gone through a lot of trainings. Like BizDev will set up the opportunity for folks to come in, and we work with you guys. You work with us on who you want to come in and our Firebrand brands that are scheduled to come in. But then on the day that they arrive, I pretty much say hi and give a high five, maybe a hug, and then you whisk them away, dude. They're gone for hours at a time. Tell me, what is the value of that? What do you see come out of that?
Understanding our model of being an online company, one thing that we have to work around is an obstacle that we have to handle is we need hands-on opportunities. We need to see product face-to-face. We need to touch it, as Randy said. We need to touch it, break it down, fix it, build it back up. Having the opportunity for our sales team, our technical service reps, even our content builders on the website in these sessions with the manufacturer and asking very specific questions questions. It could be concerning a situation that a salesperson is working with right now, getting very direct answers from the manufacturer, as well as being able to ask very specific questions to different manufacturers to truly understand the ins and the outs, and then being able to touch it, feel it, mess with it. All of that combined, it's invaluable. All of our salespeople walk away saying, man, that was fantastic because of this, because I was able to ask one question. They may have been here as long as Randy has and understand everything in and out in a very intricate fashion. However, giving him the opportunity to ask one specific question because he's working with one specific customer on this strange project, that's invaluable to him.
You know what, guys? We've been talking for a while here, and honestly, what we've been saying is this: just basically being transparent. This is who we are. This is how we started. This is why Andrew put us on this path, is so that we could find ourselves at this day. And really, what we're saying is, let us be the solution for your projects. It's a big deal. And Randy, we've talked about it before, but I know you have had folks call you and say, we're putting in 13 fire pits. And as a sales rep, you automatically go, yeah, baby, right? It's natural, especially because we're commission-based folks here. But your first question to the guy was, have you run the gas lines? And he said, yeah, matter of fact, we have. And you said, what size are they? It was like half inch it was something dumb. And you were like, yeah, you're going to have to rip all those out.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember that. We always hope to get them on the front end of a project, but when things like, especially like in a commercial project, when you're doing something like a fire pit, hard piping gas and electrical are typical requirements for safety reasons. And then when they don't have it, it's like, oh, what do I do now?
But the point I was making there was, and you hit it. A part of it is call us on the front end. We're gonna help you understand how many BTUs are gonna come from the fire pits that you select, so that you know how to run that gas line to each one, right? As you break down from the point A of initial connection all the way down the line to final connection. But then you also ended up being a solution for that project to help them get to the place where they could utilize what they had in, because I believe they had already put pavers or poured concrete over their lines. So that's the point. Let us help you be the solution for your clients, be the solution for your end user, and we'll help you have fewer callbacks. There are certain things that you do and certain things that you don't do, and each product is different. We carry a wide offering, and each one of those is going to be different. If you're not familiar with it, give us a call. We'll walk you through the do's and don'ts and help you with those pieces. And it's important that we express to all of our listeners, whether you're a homeowner or a pro, but especially we work with a lot of pros, we're here for you. We're here to help you find the right solution so that when you lay your head down at night, you know the right thing has occurred. And when a problem does come up, because they will come up, you've got a team behind you who's saying, nope, we got this, all the way to the manufacturer, especially with our Firebrand brands, all the way back to the manufacturer. And we can get parts, we can get pieces, and we can get explanations in a hurry.
Thanks to everything that Alan does in training all of our new people from start to, Master Hearth professionals, because, without them and without Alan teaching them, we wouldn't have the staff that we do, as good of a staff as we have.
Absolutely, Alan. Thank you so much, buddy, for being here today, and thank you for what you do, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hey, this was a good time. I appreciate the invite. It was pretty awesome.
Cool. We'll find an excuse to have you out again. Maybe we'll walk through some of our trainings that are coming up that we're going to have in-house, and we can start sharing those with our listeners. That'd be pretty awesome. And then Randy, as always, bro, thank you for being here too and taking your time out and just enjoying. Brother, you love sharing knowledge, and I appreciate that about you. You have since the first day I met you. You taught me a ton when I walked in the door here at Woodland. So thank you for being you, and thank you for taking your time, man.
My pleasure. Always a blast doing this and helping folks.
Join us next time for DIY Fire Pits, Construction, Guidelines, and Essentials. We'll see you then.